objectives. At the end of this assignment, you will be able to understand analog and digital signals, the binary system, binary coding schemes. You know that computers cannot recognize information in the same way as humans can. If we wanted someone to add two numbers, we would say, please add 2 and 7. We cannot instruct a computer in this way. The system unit is electronic circuitry and cannot process human requests. Our voices create analog or continuous signals that vary to represent different pitches and tones. However, computers can recognize only digital electronic signals. So, before the computer can follow any instruction, it needs to convert it into a form that it can understand. You are familiar with the decimal system, which has 10 digits, 0 to 9. Computers use a two-state or binary system to represent data and instructions. It consists of only two digits, 0 and 1. Each 0 or 1 is called a bit, short for binary digit. In order to represent letters, numbers, and special characters, bits are combined into groups of 8 called bytes. Each byte represents one character. Characters are represented in the computer by using binary coding schemes. A binary coding scheme assigns a unique binary number to each character. Two of the most popular binary coding schemes, ASCII, ASCII, and EBCDIC, use 8 bits or 1 byte. A recently developed code, Unicode, uses 16 bits. ASCII, ASCII, stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. It is the most widely used binary code for microcomputers. EBCDIC stands for Extended Binary Coded Decimal Interchange Code. It was developed by IBM and is used primarily for large computers. Unicode is a 16-bit code originally designed to support international languages like Chinese and Japanese. The number of characters in these languages is greater than the number that can be represented by the 8-bit codes. Importance of coding schemes. Hardware designers and computer programmers use coding schemes to track down different kinds of problems. End users need to give importance to coding schemes as well. This is because data created by a computer using a particular coding scheme cannot be accessed by a computer using another coding scheme. Special conversion programs are available to help with the translation of data from one coding scheme to another. Summary. You have reached the end of the assignment. You have learned analog and digital signals, the binary system, binary coding schemes. Objectives. At the end of this assignment, you will be able to understand what is meant by software, what is application software, what is system software. Software. The software of a computer system refers to the organized sets of instructions that control the working of the computer's operations. The purpose of software is to convert data, unprocessed facts, into information that is processed facts. Some programs are used by the computer to control its own tasks and devices. computer is incapable of performing any task with the hardware alone. It requires instructions to function as desired. A set of instructions is called a program. A set of programs written to achieve a common objective is called a software package. Software may be categorized into two types: application software and system software. Application software. Software that is designed for a specific application is called application software. You can think of application software as end-user software. That is the kind of software you use. These programs can be categorized as either basic or specialized applications. Basic applications are those programs which most computer-competent persons are familiar with, such as browsers, word processors, spreadsheets, and database management systems. These are used to create software for billing systems, accounting software, or software that enables the creation and storage of documents. Specialized applications include programs that are more narrowly focused on specific areas, such as graphics, audio, video, multimedia, web authoring, and artificial intelligence programs. System software. You can think of system software as the kind of software the computer uses. It is background software that comprises of programs that the computer uses to manage its tasks and devices. System software enables the application software to interact with the computer hardware. System software is not a single program, but a collection of programs that work with little or no user intervention. It consists of 4 types of programs. Operating systems coordinate computer resources, provide an interface between users and the computer, and run applications. Utilities perform specific tasks related to managing computer resources. For example, the Windows utility Disk Defragmenter removes unnecessary file fragments and rearranges file and unused disk space optimally. Device drivers are specialized programs designed to allow particular input or output devices to communicate with the rest of the computer system. Language translators convert the programming instructions written by programmers into a language that computers understand. Summary. You have reached the end of the assignment. You have learned what is meant by software, application, and system software. Hi, in this assessment frame, drag the labels to the appropriate boxes given below. Congratulations! Objectives. At the end of this assignment, you will be able to understand what is meant by memory, the types of memory, the system clock. instructions and information. The internal memory of a computer is present on the motherboard in the form of chips. There are three well-known types of memory chips: random access memory, RAM, read-only memory, ROM, and complementary metal oxide semiconductor, CMOS. RAM. This is the memory that a computer uses for storing programs and their data while working on them. For example, you may use a word processor application to draft a letter. While you are entering the contents, they are stored in the RAM. When you save your letter, it is moved from the RAM and stored onto your hard disk. Later, you may retrieve your letter and make some changes. It is then again copied into the RAM. Thus, the RAM functions as a scratchpad and is sometimes called the scratchpad memory. RAM is called temporary or volatile storage because everything in most types of RAM is lost when the computer is switched off. This happens even if there is a power failure or disruption of electric current to the computer for any other reason. The two main characteristics of the RAM are: the data in the RAM can be read or modified, hence it is called read-write memory. The data in most types of RAM is lost after the program is terminated or the computer is switched off. Cache memory. It is extremely fast memory that is built into the CPU or located next to it on a separate chip. All computers do not have a cache. Cache memory improves processing by acting as a temporary high-speed holding area between the memory and the CPU. The information in the RAM, which is most frequently used, is copied into the cache. When it is needed, the CPU can quickly access this information from the cache, thus improving overall system speed. Flash memory chips can retain data even if power is disrupted. This type of RAM is most expensive and is used for special applications such as digital cell telephones, digital video cameras, and portable computers. When you speak about the amount of memory a computer has, you refer to the RAM. The size and complexity of tasks that a computer can handle is directly related to the size of the RAM. For example, Microsoft Office 2007 requires a minimum of 256 MB of RAM. Additional RAM can be added to a computer system. The amount of RAM is expressed in bytes. The three units of measurement of memory capacity that are commonly used are shown in the displayed figure. ROM chips have programs built into them at the factory where they are manufactured. The CPU can only retrieve data from the ROM chips but cannot change it anyway. Unlike RAM chips, ROM chips are non-volatile. They contain special instructions for computer operations such as starting up, giving keyboard keys their functionality, and putting characters on the screen. The programs in the ROM perform the most basic control and supervisory operations. They check whether all the input and output devices are connected properly to the system unit. The two main characteristics of the ROM are: instructions in the ROM can be executed but cannot be changed, hence the name read-only memory. These instructions are not erased when the computer is switched off. Therefore, the ROM is said to be non-volatile. Cmos chip provides flexibility and expandability for a computer system. It contains all the information necessary to start the PC properly. This chip provides information such as the current date and time, amount of RAM, type of keyboard, mouse, monitor and disk drives. Unlike RAM, it is a small onboard battery that provides power and does not lose its contents when the power is turned off. Unlike ROM, its contents can be changed to reflect changes in the computer system such as increased RAM and new hardware devices. See the displayed figure for a summary of the three types of memory. System clock. The system clock is the computer's internal clock, which is used to time processing operations. It is located on a small specialized chip that produces precisely timed electrical beats or impulses. The system clock performs a function similar to the bass drum in a marching band. Just as the drum determines the speed at which the band marches, the system clock emits a pulse that sets the operating pace for the components in the system unit. The clock speed for powerful microcomputers is measured in gigahertz or billions of beats per second. A computer with a higher clock speed can process instructions faster. Summary. You have reached the end of the assignment. You have learned about the types of memory, the system clock. Objectives. At the end of this assignment, you will be able to understand what is meant by microprocessor, the components of the microprocessor, microprocessor chips, specialty processors. In a microcomputer system, the central processing unit, CPU, is contained on a single chip called the microprocessor. The microprocessor is either mounted onto a carrier package that plugs into the system board or contained within a cartridge that plugs into a special slot on the system board. The microprocessor is the brain of the computer and has two basic components, the control unit and the arithmetic logic unit. The control unit tells the rest of the computer system how to carry out specified instructions. It directs the movement of signals between the memory and the arithmetic logic unit and between the CPU and input-output devices. The arithmetic logic unit, ALU, performs arithmetic and logical operations. Arithmetic operations are the basic math operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Logical operations consist of comparisons such as greater than, less than, and equal to. Microprocessor chips have different capacities. The capacity of a chip is often expressed in the size of words. A word is the number of bits that can be accessed at one time by the CPU. The more bits there are in a word, the more powerful the computer is. You know that 8 bits group together to form a byte. A 32-bit word computer can access 4 bytes at a time. A 64-bit word computer can access 8 bytes at a time. So, a computer designed to process 64-bit words is faster 64-bit processor were used only in large mainframes and supercomputers. Today's microcomputers are more powerful and the use of 64-bit processors is becoming commonplace. A traditional microcomputer's CPU is typically contained on a single chip. A recent development is that of the dual-core chip, which provides two independent CPUs. These chips allow the computer to run two programs simultaneously. Today, microcomputers have the potential to run very large complex programs that were previously run only on mainframes and supercomputers. This requires specially designed programs that are divided into parts that the two CPUs can process independently. This approach is called parallel processing. In the table displayed, you can see details of popular microprocessors. Speciality processes. In addition to microprocessor chips, a variety of more specialized processing chips have been developed. Co-processors are specialty chips designed to improve scientific computing operations. The graphics coprocessor is a widely used chip which is designed to handle the processing requirements related to 3D images.